Hey, honey.
Yes, Barry?
Let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado restaurant, a beach club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week we are going south of Puerto Vallarta. We're going to Playa Mismaloya. We're going to go there to eat. We're going to be meeting Juan Pablo Reyes. Juan Pablo and his wife, Paola, have a beautiful restaurant. It's called the Mismaloya Grill, and the Mismaloya Grill overlooks Playa Mismaloya. It's located in the La Jolla de Mismaloya condominium complex, which is right across from the Barceló Resort. Juan Pablo has a very lovely story. He's got a beautiful restaurant, and you're going to be thanking me for introducing you to Juan Pablo. But before we get to him and to the Mismaloya Grill, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 5th of April, 2023. It seems that, it is Semana Santa week in Puerto Vallarta, which, as I mentioned last week, lasts until Easter Sunday. It's followed by Pascua, which also lasts a week until the following Sunday. It's a busy vacation week for locals as well as visiting tourists. And when the two cultures collide, it's going to be a very crazy and crowded time. But don't despair. Be prepared. Be ready, go with the flow, do it Vallarta style. Nice and easy. Enjoy the town, amigos. Now, if you are planning to be in town this weekend, Saturday, April 8th, the Taco Fair is going to be taking place. It's going to be over at Parque Hidalgo. And, of course, Parque Hidalgo is in the Cinco de Diciembre neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. They're going to have at least 20 participating taco stands there. And they're going to be cooking more than 50 varieties of tacos, including vegetarian and all kinds of cuts of meat and much, much more. As a matter of fact, I ran into Edgar Rivas. Edgar has been on the show a bunch of times. I just love his voice. I was cutting out of town last month, and I was walking through the plaza out in front of City Hall, and Edgar was pulling a permit over at City Hall for this particular event. He didn't know the date at the time, but I can tell you right now, once again, it's planned for Saturday, April 8th. Again, at Parque Hidalgo from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night. So with that, hey, let's go to the plaza right in front of City Hall, and let's grab a white wrought iron bench and have a chat with our friend Edgar Rivas, the promoter of the Feria del Taco in Puerto Vallarta. Edgar, what's going on, man? I ran into you in the plaza. What's going on? What are you doing?
Just having fun, enjoying this beautiful day, my friend. So nice to see you, to find you here in the plaza. You're just about to have a meeting with the tourism director, because we're starting to plan the La Feria del Taco, the Taco Fair, which is one of the other festivals, gastronomic festivals that I organize during the whole year. We just had the ceviche in February the 5th. And now the La Feria del Taco is coming. So the date will be in April. I guess in Eastern, during the Eastern, that's the thing. Talk to the tourism director because, well, as you know, all these gastronomic events that I organize are always trying to promote not even the city, the destination, as any other than the beach, the mountain, the river. Yes, we also have tacos, ceviches, craft beer, many other options for the tourism to, get closer to our culture. When you're talking about tacos, taco is all around Mexico, but of course, trust me, Puerto Vallarta, it has its own kind of tacos, seafood, etc. It's our own very style, no? So, well, that's the principal idea. La Feria del Taco will be during Eastern, and we're checking maybe the first or the second week of April. So, of course, we're gonna let you know the specific date for you to help us. And well, everybody who's gonna be here in Puerto Vallarta, keep posted in La Feria del Taco PB. That's our fan page in Facebook, Feria del Taco PB. So I mean, we're gonna start to post all the details, but always trying to promote the local restaurants, small, medium, big businesses, restaurants, and well, it's the flavor from our city.
Absolutely. Well, okay. Well, we'll be on top of it. We'll be watching for that. I'll have the link to that to their Facebook page in the show notes. Of course, you'll find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. And tacos can actually be a health food, can't they?
Sure. I mean, other than the regular tacos, we normally know pastor tacos, flank steak, etc. There's also some other different options. We're always trying to bring some like vegetarian options. So if you don't like meat, fish, you can have a vegetarian, vegan option. So taco can be made even nopal, cactus. You can use it as tortilla instead of use maize flour. You can use a cactus, grilled cactus. It's a very good one with cheese, beans, different many things, onions for sure. Fish, shrimp, tacos. We have stingray tacos, which was like the pastor taco, like this, the trompo, but it was made of stingray. But the same with the red sauce, adobo. That's how we call it, adobo. So man, it was amazing. We're gonna have burritos, stew tacos. Stew tacos, for example, in Mexico it's a different kind of taco. It's just for the mornings, no? You can have eggs with red sauce, green sauce, pollo con mole, chicharrón in green sauce. I just had a few tacos, stew tacos, right here in the Hidalgo Park. I mean, taco is universal, no? Taco is for any budget, for any time of the day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, As Mexicans, the best we can do is tacos, no? Tacos all day.
Absolutely. Well, Edgar, it was good running into you today. I'm really happy I did because I'm getting on a plane. I'm flying out of here. So good to see you. Keep me posted. Let me know when that's happening.
That's for sure, my friend. Thank you for your time. It's such a pleasure to find you here in the plaza. And yes, please, everybody who's going to hear this next show coming up, please stay posted, La Feria del Taco PB on Facebook. And yes, be aware because there's going to be a lot of surprises for all of you.
All right. Thank you, Edgar. Hey, you can't miss it. If you're going to be in town, it's going to be amazing. There's also going to be stalls with agua fresca and desserts and craft beers and cocktails, Mexican spirits, that kind of thing. So remember, once again, taco time is Saturday, April the 8th over at Parque Hidalgo from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 11 o'clock at night. Get over there and get your taco on. Now, last week was an especially tough week for my friend Salvador Estrada. Salvador is the candy man on the Malecon. He sells candy and cigarettes and trinkets and stuff like that from his wheelchair, where he sits almost every day right near where the three loud clubs are over on the Malecon. Those are the Zoo, Mandala, and La Vaquita. And if you don't know Salvador's story, I will link it for you in the show notes. But last Friday, Salvador's wife, his pareja, Dolores Delgado Sevilla, passed away. She was surrounded by her immediate family, and Dolores had been treated for breast cancer over the last couple of years, and she was looking really good back in October when I saw her, and she had been in remission for about a year, I guess, at that time. But then she started having headaches in December, and she was diagnosed with brain tumors. And the brain tumors spread pretty fast. And Salvador, well, he's been pretty depressed, especially, well, because as he explained to me, he feels hopeless. He's helpless because, her condition and her situation, which he has no ability to help her, and he isn't not able to physically help her in any way. So her family was doing all that, and I am in daily contact with Salvador, and he is going through the motions. He tells me it's better for him to be out working, and that's what he's doing right now. He's keeping busy and not sitting at home thinking about Dolores. Of course, he depended on her to drive him around and take him to work. The routine was that, well, he has a van, and then Dolores would drive him in the van to a spot on the street near the Rosita Hotel, and she would park and help him set up for the day. She would get Salvador out of the van, into his chair, then load up his tray of candy onto his wheelchair, and then wheel him down to his spot, which is south of La Vaquita. And then she'd go back up to the van, and she'd bring down the rest of his display stuff. And then you set that up next to him. And then from there, she would either walk back or she'd take a bus back to her kid's house. And in the evening, she'd come down and help him move. Well, she would, or a friend does. He moves from just south of La Vaquita. He sits out there most of the day. Starts around 1 o'clock in the afternoon or so. And then he moves, sometime around 10 or 11 o'clock at night over to the other side of the mandala where it's very, very loud. And then he works there from midnight, maybe till about 2 o'clock or so. And then Dolores would help him move everything back to the van, wheel him back there, and load him in. And that's where Salvador would sleep. That's where he sleeps. And he's usually there for 4, maybe 5 days at a shot. And that's where he's parked there near the Rosita. And then usually on Monday mornings, Dolores then would drive the van and drive Salvador, of course, in the van back to the home in Paso Ancho. And then on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, Salvador would usually take those days off, and he would be resting up for his next stint over there on the Malecon and in his van parked there behind the Rosita. And that's Salvador's routine. That's what he does. And that is, unless Dolores isn't well, and that's been some time. And when she was going for her breast cancer treatments a couple years back, going back and forth to Guadalajara, he had someone else help him, and he's got someone else now helping him. He can't really afford it, but what else can he do? Anyway, I asked him who's driving him around and helping him set up, and he told me that there's a guy. He's got a guy that's been helping him. And I asked him, how is he compensating the guy? He says, he said, well, he's feeding him, and he said he's pretty dependable. And, well, he explains that it's just not easy to find somebody that he can trust, somebody that can just, hand his keys to his van over to. So it's been tough. It's been really, really hard on Salvador. So be kind to him. If you see him on the Malecon selling candy, buy some extra candy from him if you like. I asked him if he needed any help with funeral arrangements, and he said, sure, whatever I could send him, which I did. And it's interesting. He mentioned the funeral. He says, well, the service or the wake, for Dolores, that was actually on the same day that she died. And I'm, oh, wow, that's pretty fast. And he says, yeah, it's a little complicated. He says they're going to have the service over at Solis, over at the funeral home there in Cinco de Diciembre. And the funeral package included a service with coffee and cake, but it didn't include the cremation. So what happens is they have a funeral, they have a wake, they take up a collection to finish the job, I guess, so to speak. So anyway, very sad for Salvador. I'm going to see if I've got any pictures of Dolores. I know I do, but if I do, I'll put them in the show notes. In fact, if you're going to be looking for things in the show notes today, we're talking about the 5th of April, you might want to check again on the 6th. I might not have everything there. Anyway, I'm planning on spending a little time with Salvador. When I get back to Puerto Vallarta, I'm going to be flying back the end of the month. We're going to be actually coming there for JR's 83rd birthday bash. That's right. JR is turning 83. Shows what good, clean living will do for a guy. And this year, my wife is actually coming to celebrate her own birthday in paradise. So that's going to be very cool for all of us. Make room, JR. We're coming down. We're going to be celebrating your birthday over at Gringo Loco. Now, the party for JR is April the 25th. Larry is going to have his house band there. The house band is called Paranoia, and they're going to be serving up the dance music. And, of course, Gringo Loco, they've got the coldest beer in town. So, according to JR, the drinking is going to start at 3. The music and dancing will start at 6. Boy, this is going to be a long party. Come when you want, but come on by if you're in town and party bet. Anyway, if you come in here, maybe you buy a drink for JR, have a little birthday cake, and I might even have a recording device with me. So be ready if you want to say something or want to get on the show. Maybe that would be the time to do it. Anyway, that is over at Gringo Loco Cantina. That is over in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. It's over on Francisco I. Madero 403. And again, that's going to be Tuesday, April the 25th. Festivities are going to start at 3. So if you're in town, I hope to see you there. My wife, Debbie, and I we are super excited to be staying with our friends, my buddies Ray and Debbie from Alberta, Canada. Their casa, if you've been following the show, you know it is in Pitial. And I've actually been getting myself pretty acquainted with the Pitial area. There's a great taqueria at the end of their street. It's called Candora's. It's pretty good. All the taxi drivers know it, so it must be really good. It is. I mean, I go down there and have myself those midnight tacos. They're the best. Anyway, there's this birria place behind the big church in Pitial. It's called Birria Robles. El Lick, it is known. And it's been there for almost 30 years. And the food's fantastic. The service is great. They hand make their tortillas. And they serve real birria, if you like it. They serve both the goat birria and the beef birria. So you can ask for either one or both. They'll do both for you. And it's really actually it's a lovely little sit-down place. Their hours are limited. They're only open 6 days a week. They're closed on Tuesdays, but they're open from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon on Wednesday through Monday, I guess you would say. So check them out if you're looking for a nice spot to sit down and eat in Pitial. I have pictures in the show notes. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. You can find them on Calle Hidalgo 200 in Pitial. They're right behind the church, the Parroquia de San Miguel Arcangel, right on the town square, and it's a great place. Nice place to have breakfast or lunch con la gente. And Pitial, by the way, is a real working town. It's known as Piti City, and it's a real contained area. They got cute little places. They got little leather places. They got metalworking places. They've got woodworking shops. It's industry. There's real industry happening down there. Anyway, speaking of industry, I met this really, really interesting guy, Mexican guy, an engineer named Joseph. He was actually an engineer for NASA, and he's working as an auto mechanic in Pitial. He's getting ready to open up his own shop, and this guy Joseph has got the most incredible story. I'm going to have him on the show pretty soon. You are going to love this guy. So yeah, Piti City, Pitial is on the list of places that we're going to be heading with the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show, as well as some wonderful new restaurants and some great places to explore all over town. And speaking of restaurants all over town, let's go a half hour south of Puerto Vallarta to Mismaloya and visit a place that you need to visit and you need to know about, and that is the Mismaloya Grill restaurant and bar in Puerto Vallarta. Now, back in 1996, my wife Debbie and I brought our two little boys to Paradise. Zachary was 3.5, and Jake was about 18 months old. And we decided to stay at what was a fairly new resort at the time. It was called the La Jolla de Mismaloya. And it was a beautiful property. Of course, the rooms all had ocean views. They actually had kitchenettes, which were really good for a young family. We could eat all of our meals at all the restaurants that they had on the property. They had a pizza bar and oven next to the pools. And, of course, whatever you wanted to eat, you could sit on the beach and just have a great time. It was a perfect setup for a family. And there was a little market across the highway, across Highway 200. It's still there. It was there at the time. And, of course, there was a bus stop right there, so you could easily hop on it, and it would just whisk us right into town whenever we wanted a little bit of excitement. When you have little kids, a little bit of excitement, it was okay every once in a while, but it was nice to have a resort, a property like that. So that's where, I actually spent some time at an all-inclusive. And Mismaloya, of course, is famous for Hollywood history. Much of the Night of the Iguana was filmed on a set which was built right into the cliffs in the southern part of this little bay. The area, it's closed off to visitors now because, well, it's kind of dangerous and it's not that pretty back there. But back then, we were actually allowed to wander through the ruins, and I have pictures in the show notes of how things looked back in the 90s. Once again, you might want to go back maybe tomorrow if I haven't got them in there today. And when I say show notes, I mean the blog posts that I make and I put together with links and maps and pictures and all that other stuff over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. You go to the podcast and blog page where you're going to find all of that information. Now, across from the Barcelo, which was formerly the La Jolla de Mismaloya, was and still is a beautiful condominium complex called the La Jolla de Mismaloya Condominiums. And located within the confines of that condo complex is a restaurant with a stunning view of Mismaloya Beach and of the bay. And, well, the restaurant is called the Mismaloya Grill, Restaurant and Bar. And now, because the restaurant is located in a condo complex, for security purposes, there's a particular protocol that you have to follow if you don't happen to live there, of course, and you want to eat at the Mismaloya Grill. And Juan Pablo and I will be discussing the process during the interview, so stay tuned for that. Now, there's also a process of getting there. I mean, it's a bit of a ride from the church in the center of Puerto Vallarta to Mismaloya. It takes about 30 minutes. You go along Carretera 200, Highway 200. The distance is approximately 13 kilometers. And if you take a bus, you make sure that you tell the driver that you want to stop at the condos as he approaches the Barcelo. Otherwise, you're going to need to walk all the way back up the highway. So let him know that you want to stop at the condos. But, most of you are going to be taking a taxi or you're going to be taking an Uber. And looking at my Uber app, the price right now to get you from Tile Park PV to get you from Parque de los Azulejos to the La Jolla de Mismaloya condos is approximately 160 pesos. So about $9 US to take an Uber there. For a taxi, off the top of my head, I'm going to say add another 100 pesos. So figure about $14 US if you're going to take a taxi over to Mismaloya. Now, of course, you're going to ask that taxi driver before you hop in his taxi how much, but I'm just guessing. So anyway, I suggest, as always, when you're if you can be heading over to Mismaloya, prepare yourself for little bugs. Make sure you got a little bit of bug repellent, and make sure you're wearing some proper attire so that you'll be protected against those things. And as I said, there's a process to access the property. But with that in mind, make sure that you make reservations, right? Make sure that you're not making this big old trip for nothing. So plan ahead. I have the contact information in the show notes for the Mismaloya Grill, but it's just as easy for you to use Google or the face bags and just type in Mismaloya Grill so you can call or message them ahead of time and make that reservation, right? So why am I taking you to the Mismaloya Grill? You might be asking. Well, I'll tell you why. I'm taking you there because, number one, it's a destination meal for most of you, so you're going to have to leave town for this, right? I'm also taking you there because the view is stunning. It's absolutely beautiful. And it's a historic location. It's just, because of the movie sets that right there. Remember that of course, I'm taking you there because the food is delicious. That is a must if I'm taking you to a restaurant. The staff is courteous and they're attentive, of course. But the main reason you're going to love this place is the beautiful family who runs the Mismaloya Grill. Paola and Juan Pablo and their little girls. I mean, it is the real thing when it comes to caring for their clients and making sure that your experience is one that'll keep you coming back for more. So, for a special occasion or for a pizza night, imagine taking off for a romantic meal just 30 minutes away. And there you're going to find yourself seated at a table outside on a terrace with a backdrop of Playa Mismaloya, within sight of the ruins of the Night of the Iguana set. And there you are with the sounds of the music and the crashing of the waves and the singing of the birds. You're throwing a stunning sunset over Mismaloya. My goodness, what else more do you need? So anyway, I was very fortunate to meet Juan Pablo at the restaurant for the interview. I was actually hoping to have both he and Paola together for the interview, but this couple is very, very busy. They've got business. They've got a young, active family. And as a matter of fact, Paola was baking desserts for the restaurant at the time that I cornered Juan Pablo. So now that we know how to get to the Mismaloya Grill, I think that it's about time that I take you there now. So let's go to a lovely terrace overlooking Playa Mismaloya. Let's enjoy some coconut shrimp and a lovely margarita at a table set for two. Let's meet Juan Pablo Reyes, your friend at the Mismaloya Grill Restaurant and Bar in Mismaloya, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Pablo, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and maybe your wife as well. Where are you from and what was your path that led you here to the Mismaloya Grill?
Well, it's been a long path. I met my wife in Denver, Colorado. I was there doing career in business as well. I worked for a large company. I met my wife, and I finally fell in love with her. And I came down to propose her, and I decided to stay.
Wow. Okay, so you met her. Oh, no, you were working with her, right?
I was working with her, well, in the ministry. We were part of a large church congregation in Denver, Colorado. And we met. We were friends for many years.
Yeah.
And after that, we decided to give it a try.
Wow. So you your family or her family was from this area, or did
Her
you just
family
come here?
is
Just out of the
original
dark?
from Acapulco.
Uh-huh.
Then they moved to Cabo San Lucas,
Okay.
and part of the family came down here to Puerto Vallarta and
The
decided
smart part, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
the smart part, the best part. And her mom, who was the original owner, for used to be Maria Bonita. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
She passed away a long time ago as well. And since then, we decided to call Mismaloya Grill to the place, and that's when we start a new era. And
Okay. So before it was Mismaloya Grill, it was
Maria Bonita Restaurant.
Maria Bonita Restaurant. How many years ago was that?
That was, they started this beautiful project probably 1995.
Uh-huh.
So that would be 28 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Put them in all together.
And how long have you been here? When did you turn it into the Mismaloya Grill?
That would be 2012. So it's been 11 wonderful years.
Yeah, it sure has. Wow, you've got a little staying power. I mean, places don't stick around in Vallarta as long as that, man.
I know. Well, it's been a blast because we're part of the condominium complex here
Uh-huh.
in La Jolla de Mismaloya. And they help us. They give us a lot of support. They've been such a great people, putting ideas, effort. I mean, very, very good people giving us a lot of feedback for many years. And with that, we've been improving. Every year it's been a challenge because we only open for 6 months out of the year.
Really? Okay, so you're like only open when people are like at the condo, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
That's our priority, technically, the
Right.
condominiums. There have been, as much as there been a lot of help for us, we've been a lot of help for them as well.
Right, of course. Yeah, you're feeding la gente.
That's right.
Right,
Yes.
right, exactly right. All right, so tell us a little bit about your menu. When someone comes here you're open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
Actually, we open only for lunch and dinner.
Okay. What time you open?
We open at 1 o'clock.
Okay.
1 to 4 would be lunch. We take a little break between 4 to 5 to switch lines to get the dinner line ready.
Mhm.
And at 5 o'clock, we're ready to do dinner until 9, 10 o'clock about.
Right. So, yeah, but now, this Mismaloya bus that comes up here, let's say that you're not staying here, or you're not even staying at La Jolla de Mismaloya, it's not that anymore, or you're not staying at the Barceló anymore. If you're not staying at the Barceló, you're not staying here, you kind of have to get back into town if you're having dinner. So what's the last bus?
The last bus, I will say, probably is about 10:30.
Okay.
And they pass every 20 minutes, so it's comfortable. A lot of our guests, they decide to do taxi or cab driver, or
Right, yeah.
Uber.
Right, that
Now
makes sense. And, I'll check the price on that for you guys on the Uber price. You can find it, of course, at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Of course, I'll tell you about that when we're discussing it beforehand. All right, so tell us a little bit about your lunch menu.
Our lunch menu, it's basically fresh seafood combinations. We have our own signatures, which is shrimp avocado salad. Very simple salad, but fresh. And we're looking to have always fresh fruit. I'll go to the market every day, early. I pick up wherever I found the freshest and the goodies. Shrimp, salmon, tuna, of course, chicken, beef, steaks. And when I decide to get a package, I'll bring it back down here, and our chef does a great job. We have normal stuff that people like BLTs, club sandwiches, quesadillas, fresh guacamole, fresh avocados, of course. We have a very nice coconut shrimp salad, which is one of our best things because it's a good salad with a little mango, and we do a little coconut shrimps, which people like.
Sounds good. I'm in. I'm totally in. You think what's your favorite dish? What's the favorite dish around here?
My favorite dish out of the lunch menu would be probably the fajita, lunch fajita.
Oh, tell us about that.
we crust the bell peppers with a little garlic, with a little white wine. We put them in a hot pan, and then we grill chicken and a steak, and then we put or select a hot pan. So when you get it at the table, it's hot. It's really, really hot. And we serve it with a little guacamole, pico de gallo, little sour cream, a little homemade salsa, and it ends up having a corn or flour tortilla. Mm-hmm. And that's one of my favorites, actually.
Yeah, all right. That sounds great, too. Well, what about your dinners? Now, you start your dinners at 5, and what do we got going on the menu?
It's funny that you say that because every day we have specials. We try to get not boring, and we change the menu 3 times out of the week.
Uh-huh.
Monday and Tuesday would be a regular menu with the specials of chicken or steak. But we have salmon, we have tuna grill, we have French meals like supreme chicken. We have also coconut shrimps. Another one that we call Mismaloya shrimps, which is jumbo shrimp with ham and cheese inside, wrapped with bacon, triple cheese sauce on top of it. Sometimes we do it with rice and vegetables or mashed potato and vegetables. Depends of the chef's selections that day. Other thing that is very, very popular is our Wednesdays, which is Italian night. And I think we do a very good pizza. We try to improve it every time. Pizza is about love and handle the dough. Everyone, it's handmade.
Uh-huh.
And we have a very good guy who helped us to do the pizzas. The salsa, we made everything from scratch. We have our own signature pizza, which is a combination that our same customers give us, technically, a combination that they select.
Uh-huh.
And we decide to put them in the menu and leave it there, and people seems to like it.
All right, so what's on it?
Well, like Paul pizza would be asparagus, artichokes, black olives, a little bacon, extra cheese. That would be one.
Uh-huh.
Other one, we have dry, which is Miles, actually. It's called Miles. And it's funny because every time that everybody sees the menu, they correct me because I put it with a double L. And I did it on purpose to create controversy in the menu.
Uh-huh.
And people help us to misspell or correct the misspelling. And I create a conversation and I create an environment.
Look at you.
Yeah,
that is really cool.
And when that happened, I seen people get involved with the menu, with the ideas, and people like it. It's something that I learned on the way.
What a great idea.
It's really good.
Yeah.
But this pizza is really nice. It has dry tomato, black olives, salami, which is one of my favorites, double cheese, of course, and a little crushed pepper. So it's a little spicy, and of course, Italian spices and a little olive oil, and that creates the miles, and people like it very, very well.
That sounds great. I'll bet people now is it like only a couple of times a week that you do the pizza?
That's the only day that we do pizza and pasta.
And that
on
is
Wednesdays.
Wednesday.
Okay. We've been doing that for the last 10 years since we start to call Mismaloya Grill. And we start that day because it was the weakest day of the week, the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And we start to get more customers, and we put a couple times lasagna, and then we do pastas as well. We have different combinations, and people start to select that day as their day.
I just saw somebody come in here, and she just did the same thing. She said, "Hey, pizza day, pizza night, right?"
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you saw him.
I did. I saw him.
They did reservation. We get packed that day.
I bet you do.
It's becoming famous. Everybody want to push me to do a second day of pizza, But I think in my personal voice
Yeah.
that I always hear,
Yeah.
my instincts, if I do that, I will affect the Wednesdays. And I wanted to be the Wednesdays a special day.
Yeah.
So everybody can mark it in their calendar.
Right.
Mismaloya Grill, Wednesday. No
Right.
other day. And I think it seems to work. People like that Wednesday.
So you do it for both lunch and dinner that day? Or
No.
just dinner?
Just dinner.
Okay.
Just dinner.
So at
Yeah.
5 o'clock, so your chance to come and have pizza night and Italian night at the Mismaloya Grill is Wednesday night.
Correct.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I looked and I saw that pizza oven, and I said, "Man, they're doing everything in that kitchen. That's fantastic." Huh?
And that's on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
On Thursdays, we have a little mix of Mexican food with fusion food. Sometimes we do a little enchiladas. We do Mexican meals like chile rellenos, but also a regular menu.
Uh-huh.
And another day that is very important is Fridays. We do barbecue grill night.
Okay.
We do ribs, Texas style.
Baby back kind of ribs? Or
Baby
the-
back ribs,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
the full rack.
Nice.
We do combinations as well, which would be half rack with, could be steak or shrimp or a little salmon or a little tuna steak. That depends on what you like.
Nice.
People ask me sometimes if it's a buffet, and I say no, it's by the menu. So you select one meal and you can do the combinations
Uh-huh.
and only pay for what you want.
Wow.
And it's very nice.
Yeah.
We've been having that night since probably 20 years ago.
Wow.
That was one of the nights that was really popular here for the condominiums,
Uh-huh.
but also when we went public to people in the streets, not only for the condominiums, they seems to like it a lot.
Yeah.
So we're very popular also on Fridays.
Very good. Very good. So those are your special nights. You got Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays are your special nights.
That's right. Yes.
Fantastic. Now, your days that you're open, are they 6
We
days, 7
open
days
at
a
the
week?
moment Monday through Saturday from 1 to 9 o'clock.
Okay. Now, you guys are getting ready to get on vacation. Now, you do, because you're open like just 6 months a year. So you...
We open from October
Uh-huh.
through around May. In May, that's when everybody starts to go back to home. Could
Right.
be Canada, United States, or any other part of the world.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, since like people hit back to their homes, and this area, especially this area, because it's very quiet, peacefully,
Absolutely.
get a little rest. And we get ready to do a little upgrade, fix here, fix over there, and it gives us time to do maintenance and recharge as well in summer.
Yeah, absolutely. When you recharge, you stay here. Where do you go? You have fun times? You get out of town? What do you do?
Sometimes I do, but I cannot stay quiet.
That's
I
how
have
you
to do
are.
something. So I get in projects like remodels, or I get busy with my family. We are a family business.
Yeah.
So I have 3 beautiful daughters. That they are my motor. They are my pushing all the time. So
Very
I'm
good.
really passionate about my girls and spend time as much as I can with them.
Yeah.
But also I take them on the side and I say, hey, you have to learn this. You have to do that. You have to do this.
You're teaching them the business, eh?
I try.
Very good.
I have my middle girl, which is Allegra. She's 10 years old at the moment.
Uh-huh.
She take orders. She come and pick up the orders.
so
Sometimes
cool.
when she's available to do that, because school come first,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and she helped me to do orders, deliver drinks, take people in, help them to go to the elevator.
Oh, how sweet.
Things like
how
that.
cool is that?
And we started doing that because during pandemia, it was hard to find good help.
Oh, no
It was
kidding.
very difficult, especially because of the area that we are.
Yeah. You're in the middle out there in nowhere, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So I end up saying to my wife, hey, we need to get the girls helping us somehow, because I have no employees.
Need some hands.
And at the same time, I didn't have a lot of income to pay the staff because
Yeah.
we were a little. Pandemia hit us really, really bad.
Oh, yeah.
And that's when the condominium helped us, to sustain the business, and thankfully we survive,
Yeah.
and we're here doing the best we can.
That's just that warms my heart. It just brings back memories of my dad bringing me and my twin brother into the jewelry store and teaching us when we were little kids. I mean,
That's right.
We worked in the store behind the counter and just played it. Just,
That's
hey, what
right.
do you want to buy? Let me show you something. It was very interesting. So
It's very
this is what you're
important.
doing for your kids. It's so important. They're going to remember this forever.
Always. I
yeah.
think my mom, I was very ongoing boy, and every time I get a toy, in the next day it was apart. I'll take the pieces apart. I want to discover how it was made.
Yeah.
So my mom said, "I'm not buying any more for you. So if you want something, you have to earn it." And she buy, I remember, a bag of gum. And those times used to be, little gomitas. That's what they call the name. And she put the table at the outside the house, and 10 cents each piece. At the end, I end up eating all the gums. But the principle that she taught me, it was you have to be entrepreneur. You have to make your own money. You have to be disciplined with your money. And I still remember that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do with my girls. They need to learn financial education. They need to have that. And I do the best I can,
Yeah, well, you're a very good role model for them. They're gonna, like I said, they're gonna appreciate this so much.
I hope so.
Absolutely, and maybe one day they will actually come work for you, and that'll be a dream come true for
That
you.
would be great. That
Right?
would be great, yeah.
Yeah.
Right now they said I'm too tough.
Well, you are too tough, but they're too little. So don't worry. When they get to that age, they're gonna think, you know what, this is pretty cool. This is
Yes.
pretty cool. You were talking about the pandemic. Everything's recovered from that. You think everything so far as business goes, it's all popped back? Yes.
At the moment, I think we passed that line.
Uh-huh.
Business has been very good this year. I believe as humans, as a culture, as a nations, we all survive, and we have a big learnings on that. The life could spare. Today you can be here, and tomorrow you can be gone.
Yeah, that's for
And
sure.
you have to appreciate people. You have to appreciate, family, mom, dad. I mean, you have to appreciate others.
Yeah.
I did get COVID once, and the most valuable thought that I have is my wife stay next to me and say, "If you go, I'll go." And we did quarantine, of course, but she says, "I'm with you." And after that, we survived.
Here you are.
We did
Look
good.
at you. You're right there.
And we become strong not only as a person, also in our relationship. We more confident. We are a better family after that. That was only in our family. We lost people, yes. We lost friends, many, and that's bad for us. But we have a lot of learnings,
Yeah.
and we appreciate that we're still here, and we are fighters, and
Yeah, and you're here in probably one of the most beautiful spots in Puerto Vallarta. I mean, the view that you have here of
You're right.
Mismaloya Bay is just gorgeous.
It's just gorgeous. That's why it's called La Joya de Mismaloya, the jewel of Mismaloya.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place.
So tell us about your wife. Tell us about Paula. What does she do here?
Well, let me tell you something about my wife. That I'm a blessed and a lucky guy to have her. During pandemia, we used to buy things from local stores. But during pandemia, we started to do, our testing at home. And she surprised us, me and my girls, with a different cake every day. Because we have nothing to do at home. We were just looking at each other, and besides Netflix, we start to try her great creations. And one day she used to do one cake, and the other day used to mix it with ice cream or a different sauce or jelly. And since then, she's been great. She's in charge right now of pastry department. She's the chef, pastry chef. She can bring carrot cakes, tiramisu, strudel, apple strudel, cheesecakes, and many different things. Creme brulee. She does a great creme brulee. She's been passionate about it. She's been learning in Facebook and also in YouTube. She's been taking tutorials to learn. And when she starts to learn, because she's passionate about learning, she take one recipe and she share it with 20 different recipes, and she create her own. But the funny thing is, she doesn't try the desserts until you as a guest or customer try the dessert first. She's been in a diet, so she got the discipline to not try it because discipline is first, It's a women thing. And I do respect that. But at the same time, the what admire me is she does a great job. I mean, freshness, best quality ingredients, and she combine them all together, and at the end, it tastes balance. It tastes the goodies, the good chocolate, the good strawberries. So she has a gift, and I'm really thanks. I think I have a jewel in my wife, and she and I do the management and the operations in the restaurant, and she does the kitchen, also the pastry, and we have the perfect combination. So I'm blessed for having a great woman with me.
Wow, that is amazing. Yes, it is. You are blessed, and in Vallarta, it's really hard to find a good restaurant that serves really good food and also a good dessert. So that's really good to know. Now, if someone were to come in here and they're not staying at the condos here over at Mismaloya, they need to be allowed to come in, right? There is a method, right?
The condominiums allowed us to bring people from outside. They do, but because there's still a private community, they put us a little guidelines. We have to wait for the people, or the people has to wait at the front gate. They must be escorted from the gate to the restaurant, because these people live here and this is their home. It's not just a rental or any other place. They live here. It's a private association.
Yeah.
So they want us to be successful. They want us, they want to support us, which we really appreciate. But at the same time, they want to have control. They want to have security.
Sure.
And we understand that as well. So we have one hostess who help us. Before it used to be my daughter, but she's too young for the title. So we hire somebody and is helping us to get people in, score them back up, get a taxi for them as much as we can. People from other condominiums around, they come on the daily basis. And we not only have support from the La Joya de Mismaloya, we also have support for other condominiums, which there are many, and we do appreciate it. Their patience, and they help us to maintain the business with their support.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, there's that just shows that there's a little bit of there is a lot of help from everybody. It seems like everybody's together around here, huh?
This is not Pablo's restaurant. This is everybody's restaurant.
Yeah. All right, Pablo. Now, do you live in Vallarta? Where do you live? You live around this area? You live around
I used to live here in Mismaloya. But when my daughter was 3 years old, she got a little cold to bring her to the doctor at 3 a.m., it was kind of hard, you know?
Yeah, no kidding.
So we have a learning, my wife and I, and we decided to move to Vallarta and stay close, you know, to shopping areas, to, you know, as a family,
Right.
we have to get a place in downtown. Since then, that was like 10 years ago. She's 14 at the moment. We've been living in Vallarta full time.
Nice.
So we drive all the way down every day to shoppings in downtown,
Right.
and then we drop everything to La Jolla de Mismaloya.
Yeah, I mean, it must be much easier to do that shopping
Oh,
in
yeah.
town than it is to drive in and drive out, right? I
That's
mean, you're
right.
already there, so that's a fantastic way to go. All right, let's leave the Mismaloya Grill for just a minute. Let's go out into the area here. If you were going to get a day off, I know you never do, but you do every once in a while, right? If you're going to
Once
get a
in
day
while,
off,
well,
what would you do? Where would you go?
well, there's many beautiful areas around here. Botanical Garden is a great place to be. I heard, and I've been there in summer, but I heard that it's one of the top 10 in the world.
Yeah.
They have a very particular flowers and any other trees that they do. They have a very nice restaurant as well.
Uh-huh.
You know, besides us, they have a
There's
very good
there's
place.
a little competition. They serve breakfast there. You get your lunch and dinner over here, though. Okay, Just
That's
so you
right.
know. That's
Yeah.
right. You know.
and it's a very friendly people, good people there.
Yeah.
We know them. Another place that I really like, Juntas y los Veranos, Canopy.
Yeah.
They are a very good friend of ours.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, they offer food as well.
Right. They have zip
But
lining, yeah?
also the zip lines and all the activities they provide. It's a very good place to be and to pass a good day with the family or even yourself. I mean, if you are alone or with a partner, it's a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's safe and it's beautiful.
So to get to Los Veranos y...
Las Juntas y los Veranos.
To get to Las Juntas y Veranos, that's up near the Botanical Garden, yeah?
It's close to Botanical Garden, but it's from Mismaloya. It's like 20 minutes drive.
Okay.
You can take a cab or you can take a bus. The bus could be probably 30 minutes. It's a good place to be.
Uh-huh.
And I think they close around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And you can take the bus, which is probably $1 to hit back to Mismaloya. Or if you want to go to downtown, probably could be $2.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. How about 3 days? If you had 3 days off, where would you go? Do you ever get that? Well, you do, because you go on vacation every once in a while.
yeah,
right?
once in a while I get a vacation.
Yeah.
You have to visit El Tuito. El Tuito in this area is a small town, but it has a lot of culture, authentic people, you know, families that have been here for the last 50 years, 2 or 3 generations probably,
Right.
and it's a good people. They have little shops, restaurants, you know, like street restaurants.
Uh-huh.
But they do handmade tortillas, you know, scrambled eggs in the mornings, or even, I don't know if you heard about menudo or pozole, which is a Mexican authentic soup with all kinds of goodies. People need to find out on their own.
Yeah, you go look those up, you guys,
Yeah.
if you don't know what we're talking about.
But it's a good thing to do on Sunday or Saturday morning, you know, after having or hitting a party. In the mornings is really good. It's something the Mexicans do, and that's very authentic. El Tuito is a good place to visit.
Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Also-
would you stay there 3 days, though? Would you actually go up there and stay there
I
3
will
days?
go only
Just
one
for the day, right? Yeah.
And I will hit probably Boca de Tomatlan
Uh-huh.
right here, and I will take a boat and go probably to Jalapa or Quimixto, which is there are a beach, but the only way to get there is in a boat.
Yeah.
That's the best. 40 minutes, probably 50 minutes at the most
From Boca.
from Boca.
Uh-huh.
And it's a good place to be. I will spend 3 days in Jalapa,
Beautiful.
small town, but very rich in culture, very friendly, you know, good prices. And I will probably do that.
Very good, very good. I like that. I would do that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, I'd do that. If you had some guy coming in, a friend of yours coming in from the U.S., and they're never been to Puerto Vallarta before, and you had to work, but you promise them you pick them up over at the, over the cruise liner ship. They only have a day to go explore. You got no time, but you're going to take them somewhere and you're going to drop them off in Vallarta. Where would that be?
Well, that's a very good question. But probably for 1 day experience would be downtown. Malecon is a very good option. There's like 2 hours walking and meeting not only restaurants. There's museums. There's paint shops, like artwork shops. There's many. Also restaurants, bars, discotheques. That would be at night.
Yeah.
But during the day, there is a lot to do in downtown. Vallarta is growing. They keep building, as you know.
Yes, we do.
But downtown would be a very good area to discover. And I don't think 1 day it's enough. I believe you need those 3 days that you asked me about.
Yeah.
But in 1 day, you can get an idea, friendly people. Vallarta downtown has a different areas.
Right.
Old Town, downtown, and each area offer a different market. And, it's if you want to do sports in the ocean or you want to do activities in downtown, there's always something good to do in Vallarta.
Absolutely right. And, there's always beach restaurants and beach places, that they could just stop in and just say, hey, I sat on the beach in Puerto Vallarta before I had to get back on the boat.
That's right. Yes.
If you had a word of advice for a first-time visitor, someone coming here for the first time, what would you advise, other than coming to the Mismaloya Grill, which, of course, should be number one on your list, but what would the advice be?
Well, that's another very good question that you make. After coming to Mismaloya, I will say get a boat, and they need to visit probably the wells, the spectacular, because even the wells, I believe, they sense the boats, and they start to give us a show.
Oh, do they ever?
They go up, they go down, they deliver their babies. I think they like the famous. They do. They do, because they do it on purpose, We have a lot of dolphins. We have a lot of... But also, I don't know if you heard about Islas Marietas.
Tell us about that.
Islas Marietas is a very unique area. They have a little island with a big hole on top, which is... I went, this is just very personal. I went to Cabo San Lucas to get away from Vallarta, and I sit on the airplane and I saw a magazine. And when I looked at the magazine, I saw an island with the big hole, and I said, wow, this place must be unique and wonderful. And I started to read the article, and guess what? It was Islas Marietas. It was here in Vallarta. Yeah. And when I say, how do I never seen that? I mean, I was shocked. And I told my wife, hey, do you know this place? Oh, yeah, I do. It's over there on the other side of the bay by Punta de Mita. Oh, how come you never told me about it? Well, I don't know. So we need to hit there once at least. Yeah. So that would be a very good place to visit. Islas Marietas.
Yeah.
La Cruz de Guanacaste is a very good, even if it's in Bucerias, which is 40 minutes from here, but it's a very good place to visit as well.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll hook you up with my friend Javier Oz, who will give you a tour of the hidden beach.
That would be great.
I'll hook you up with Javier. Do you have any words of warning for somebody who's coming to Puerto Vallarta for the first time?
Well, just come and enjoy and do the best they can. Don't worry about time. Don't worry about, stress. Leave everything behind and enjoy this paradise. Because, we only live once. And we have to take the best of the place and also the best of people. Vallarta, a long time ago, was considered the friendliest place on the earth. 2004, I believe. The friendly people on the planet.
Oh, yeah.
I think we need to get back to that. And I'm really, really happy for the people who choose Vallarta as a destination. Vallarta is a beautiful area, beautiful people, and all the people that come and visit us, they get impressed by their sense of the local people. I believe other places are great, but I think Vallarta will offer the best or the most is their people. Their people is unique, friendly, authentic. We all have problems, of course, but Vallarta people, which they call pata salada, they're very authentic, happy, even with all the problems, but they're still happy. They always have a smile for everybody. They always help others. They care. That would be the word. They care about others, and I like that. That's why we're still here, and we're going to continue be here as long as we can.
My goodness. Well, yes, and I hope so too. And well, okay. So tell us a little bit. Give us your hours again. Give us where you're located.
We are located in the south area of Puerto Vallarta. In south, we call it Zona Hotelera, also hotel zone.
But not the one up north. It's the one down south, right?
The south.
Yeah, you got the southern hotel zone.
This is the south.
Yeah.
Very unique, peaceful, calm, relaxed. You don't see bars here. You only see good restaurants and also quiet areas.
Yeah.
People like that. They appreciate their silence. Even the silence has a lot to say.
Exactly right.
Our hours is Monday through Saturday from 1 to 9 o'clock. We open lunch and we open dinner. And we're more than happy to take care of all the people that want to come and visit us. And we are happy to have you here.
All right. Well, I'm so happy to be here. And just remember that they take that hour off between lunch and dinner. So between 4 and 5, only if you want to make a reservation. Okay. Other than that, we're good. You got a Facebook page?
I do. We have Mismaloya Grill Facebook. We have TripAdvisor. We have Yelp. And we have Foursquare, Twitter. And we are pretty much in everything.
You're all over the place. I'll have links to all those. I'll have them in the show notes so that you won't miss the Mismaloya Grill. I'm going to have nice pictures of it so you can see it. It's quiet right now. There's nobody here. I got here when he was not busy. So usually the place is packed. So the pictures that you're going to see is what it looks like. Virgin. Nobody sitting at the tables. But there's a table here for you. And Pablo, I want to thank you so much for joining me today, for coming on the show. I know it was in short notice. We've been trying to get together for a little while, but I'm so very happy that I met you, and I'm so happy that I was able to introduce you and Mismaloya Grill to my listeners. I truly appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, and I appreciate the opportunity, and I'm really thanks you and your audience for listening and choose Mismaloya Grill as a destination, and Puerto Vallarta in general, because we are just a little part of this beautiful place. I do appreciate it as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Juan Pablo. Folks, you need to get your way out to this restaurant. Remember, this is a seasonal operation, as Juan Pablo said. So follow them on Facebook, like their page. Make sure that when you go there that they're open. And make sure that their hours, that you're aware of their hours. Of course, they have those special nights, so keep that in mind. They got that pizza night and that barbecue night. And, well, every night is a special night at the Mismaloya Grill. So when you get a chance, check out the pictures and the links in the show notes over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Go to the blog post for the Mismaloya Grill. Or even go to their Facebook page and just check them out. See what they're doing tonight. Okay, well, that should do it for today. Next week, stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. And until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending us your message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website. Reserve your tour through him or right from his website. Remember, this is a value-for-value proposition. His experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying, thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else, so do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, his DIY tours, and I have the links to all of those in the show notes. Hey, once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time and subscribe and follow and share with a lover of Puerto Vallarta, or give me a good review wherever or however you happen to be listening. That way we can get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with each episode I create. But if you haven't been to my website, you really need to have a look there. I have links to the places that we talk about, interesting pictures, and more right there in my blog posts in the show notes for each episode of the show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. Thank you so much, Edgar Rivas from the Ferreria de Taco. Get yourself over to Parque Hidalgo this Saturday if you're in town. Or Taco Mania, get over there. You'll have a great time if you do. And hey, thank you so much to Juan Pablo Reyes, restaurateur extraordinaire. Thanks for telling us the story of the Mismaloya Grill, restaurant and bar in Mismaloya. Hey, go for the food, the drinks, and desserts, as well as the view and the people. Oh yeah, Juan, Pablo, and Paula, thanks so much for sharing your story. And thanks to all of you for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
De Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar, samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de amor junto al mar. Solo camino, perno por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, brillas Puerto Vallarta, samba de Puerto Vallarta.